Hello, everybody. This is an analysis of a Salado match between myself, Sean Lewis, and Lee Baldwin. We're doing a race to 9, alternate break, 9 ball. So I won the lag, so I got the first break. Looking pretty good here. It's like low right or center right to come 2 rails for the 2. Lee's the best player that I've done this with yet, so I'm interested to see how everything goes. Trying to get used to the format. Here, it come up a little bit straight on the 3. Was trying to get an angle to just go to the middle of the table to get on the 5. So I'm just gonna, I think I just stopped the ball here. Maybe I punch out. Yeah. I was trying to punch out a little bit further than that to get a little bit more angle. Should be no problem. I'm just gonna have to hit this soft and smooth. It's easy to put too much spin on that and to make it over roll. So I'd just be very careful with the amount of side spin that I put on the ball. Here I'm just going to make it and go probably 2 rails back to the middle of the table, thereabouts, for the 7. This is going to be center left. Try to come back to the middle of the table. Hit it a little bit thin. Came back too far. So here I have an option of playing 1 rail to the side rail or going forward. I opt to go forward, but I think I needed to spend a little bit more energy visualizing this shot because I ended up missing it. And I came way too short for the position also. This looks a little bit like half ball or a little bit thinner. Just roll to the spot. Good speed. One zero. All right, 1-0. Made a couple balls. Good leave. Let's draw this straight back. go forward here, one rail for the 5. Let's follow forward on the 6 here. So I'm going to play a safety, follow the cue ball forward under the 7. Kind of looking at my options. There's not much to do there. That's could bank it, but low potential. This came up a little bit short on that one. Good shot. I think on this shot, you might just cut it with no spin to go to the side rail and the end rail, and then back up between the 8 and the 9. Might need a touch of right English for that. Either cut that a little bit too thinly, or I put too much left to make sure that it went straight up and down. I was trying to come back up off the rail for the 8. So I'm just going to punch like a stun shot, shoot the 8 in the side, and then go one rail for the 9. It scores 1-1. It's my break. Trick here is to play for the 2 ball. I can either play with high left and go between the 5 and the 6, or play the angle I'm looking at now, which is a 3 rails to a 4 rail position. Came in a little high. So now I'm trying to play safe and draw the cue ball into the 9, behind the 9, and then bank the 2 behind the 5, or the 6 and the 4. Got a double kiss. Gonna change my mind there. Initially I was gonna play the cue ball under the 7, which might have been the right shot actually. So here probably play follow. Maybe the angle gives you a draw shot on the 4 on the side. Just follow this ball forward. A little stun is also good if necessary to get the angle. It's hard to tell the angle. It's a good shot. Maybe like a stop shot or play cutting it to the left and then 1 rail position for the 6. Good shot. Probably wanted to stay a little bit higher on that, just to give yourself the natural angle. Just a little bit more spin on that would have been good. Just a little bit more, not much. Investigate that stroke when you watch this. Good bank shot. All right, scores 2-1. Dry break. Can play safe by banking the 1 down towards the 3, but the side pocket is a little bit in the way. Might scratch. So because I'd have to do some manipulation of the cue ball, and that changes the speed of the object ball, then I'm going to elect to just bank the 1 and try to go 3 rails back down table for that 2 ball. Barely hooked. I was trying to do a kick and stick there. Just hit just a little bit too much of that different angle. Here I like cutting this ball to play safe. Good shot. Here I want to bank the 2 down table, but I don't think I have the angle. So I end up hitting it and it hits the 5. So I've left Lee a pretty good shot here. Just want to get straight in on the 4. Maybe a high left. nice and smooth. I might try to draw this ball to stay above the 5 to avoid having to interact with the 9. Probably bank this ball if you're playing aggressively. It's a good try. Good shot. A little wobbly. It's 3-1. Not sure if I really have a good shot here. Looking at this, I should bank the 1 towards the 4. And float down behind the 3, 9, and 5. Defensively. Maybe I have a shot all the way down in the corner. No, yeah, I played that shot. That's right. It's a good shot also. I think here, all things being equal, if you're going to try to make it, you should cut it, bank or kick to the left to have a better chance for a shot on the 2. Two rail kick is good. Good hit. Slot the ball in though. Got to kick again or jump. A little too high. It's a good shot though. Come down a little sooner, it's in. Here I'm trying to hold this one ball to have a shot on the 2. Playing for the side pocket past the 6 here. A little bit short. I gotta play safe again. Cutting the 4 to the right, and then the 8 is in the way. Could scratch if I try to draw. So I'm gonna shoot the 4 to the end rail and use the 6 and the 7 as blockers. Maybe a 1 rail kick or a 2 rail kick behind. Kick 1 rail to make it if you want. You could use some speed if you do that to get shape. 2-rail kick, you'd be kicking it and trying to kick it into the side rail and then down by the 9. I wouldn't necessarily be trying to make it. Jump shot's a good shot if you try to bank it 2 rails towards the 9 and then your cue ball goes over by the 8. I can barely see the edge of the ball, but I like to kick at it. It's just so thin. I don't want to risk hitting the 7. Got away with it. It's trying to go to the other side of the 7 to play for the side pocket. Got a little weird. Should have took more time on that. Pretty routine out here, just shooting the side, leave yourself the angle to go 2 rails back for the 9 when you shoot the 8. Maybe there was more angle than it looked. Good shot. Four to 1. 3. Made 1 ball. It's gonna have to roll out here. on a rollout like this, this is going to leave me to be able to bank the 2 rails down and then use the 3, 4, and 5 as blockers, I think. Or I can thin off the left side of it and use the 9 or the 2 and the 7 as blockers. Potentially the 1 will tie up behind the 8. I hit a 2, I didn't hit it, but I ended up with the same result, which is sort of how it works with that shot. The speed of the shot creates the separation with the thinness of the hit. As long as the hit is thin, then the separation will happen. If I hit it fuller, then they wouldn't have separated as much. Probably would have sold the shot out. As far as like rolling out after the break, I typically like to leave the cue ball with awkward cueing if I can, or like an easy move that I know, and I try to take away the offense to create a moving situation, especially with players that are maybe not as good as me on paper. Against better players, you kind of have to just leave yourself to where your better version of your game is going to be the shot that you shoot. So if you're a good mover, then you want to play a defensive rollout, and then as an offensive player, you're going to want to leave a shot that's difficult, that they may not go for because it's a lower percentage, but something that you will try to gain control by playing an offensive shot. So here I'm going to play 2 rails for the 3 in either the side or the corner. One rail, excuse me. Walking over to check my position for the next shot, which is something that I've gone back and forth about doing. And I think I'm going to add it back in just to be more locked in with my plan. Overrolled it slightly there. I think I need to draw back now, even though there's an angle. Might punch to the side. Let's play this with follow and inside, or maybe just follow, or maybe left It's all dependent on the exact line. Any shot on the 9 is fine as long as you're off the rail. You know, like this is okay. It's a little bit high, but it's a normal 9-ball shot. All right, scores 2-4. Been pretty good success with the break. I just haven't been executing, so I'm sticking with it. Still feel like I'm getting a little bit used to the Salado Fargo match part of it and how that affects my opponent, and I'm maybe paying attention more to that than my own self, but it's all part of learning. Alright, so I just had to roll in the 1. Just got a kind of a nip draw shot here for the 2 because I want to leave myself to be able to go down table for the 4 and not have to worry about the 8 and 9 or getting too far down there. I have to force it. So I'm checking my spot, make sure I get the correct angle. Really, I was trying to leave it to where I could go forward 2 rails. I just have to now draw straight back and then above the 8 and 9, which gives me a good angle on the 7. Checking to see what I need to do. For myself, I'm analyzing my own consistency as far as my approach and everything really that I can notice. I'm really working on my final stroke being a smooth transition. Making sure that I fully plan each shot before I get down on the ball so that I can spend less time cueing. Pretty clean one right there. It scores 4-3, Lee. It's easy to overhit the break on my table and leave the 1 ball in that spot. So the solution on my table is you just got to hit it harder to make it go the extra rail. You can put a slight amount of right English in this case. Left English to make the 3 or the 1 kick further and go to the corner, or you can hit it a little bit softer, which is what most people do because normally the wing ball will go if you rack yourself well. Does a really good job there kicking and just not leaving me much, so now I have to kick. So I think I'm trying to kick the 1 at the 9 here. Oh, I don't remember exactly. I may still have been doing that. I think I didn't want the balls to go too far because all those balls down table, right there where you're at, it's if you go too far, there's nowhere to hide behind. So you could play safe or bank this ball. Hit it just good enough to make it tough. Can't make it. Maybe I should play safe here. I did play safe, but I think I made a mistake trying to roll the cue ball behind the 6 when I should have focused more about banking the 1 to the end rail. Just gotta make sure I make a clear decision before I shoot my shot, I think is what's telling me. Because at that pace, I could have just rolled it in and made the 6 and then just ran out. So it was a mistake. I'm not moving as well or shooting as well as I could be here. But like I said, what I'm working on is more my consistency. I know that the ball pocketing and all that stuff will return once I have my shooting system more consistent. Pretty good. A little far away. I think you just play this with rolling ball and just play for the corner rather than try to draw. Or you could put a little bit more high right and then play side rail to the other side rail and then play in the side. Either shot is good. Depends on the angle that this is. It's hard to see. I think he was playing the second shot, it sounds like. So offensively, I have to play this probably 2 rails. It's pretty tough, so I might play safe and just bank the 2 under the 9. Pretty good job. Real first was a good shot there. Just didn't work out. It missed it. Pretty good. I can go intentionally into the 8 here to clear a little bit more room. like that stroke was a little bit quick. That's a little bit more like what I'm trying for. And I think I missed this 8, so I'm going to watch this really carefully as well. I think that I needed to pick a spot on the table to end with the cue ball, and I didn't do that. Let's see if it shows in my stroke. Just missed it. Interesting. The stroke did seem a little bit fast, like forced. I didn't pause as much before my final stroke. So Lee has a tough shot. I think he used too much spin there and it floated off. And I missed it also. A couple of 8 balls that I've missed. Left it in the jaws. It's all good. Pretty good. Pretty good. A little bit of a quicker stroke that time. It scores 5-3. Mishit that slightly. You either got to hit it to where the cue ball goes and you kind of get straight in and below the 1, or you got to stay above it and then kick them down. This is like the middle ground. Left myself a bank shot, which I'm going to take it because if I get on the 2, 3's right there. So I think you're supposed to go offense here. Got crazy. So I played it to that side rail to get, so I could play really full with a lot of right English and play the cue ball back kind of onto the line where it goes back to where it is right now. think I hit it too soft. Yeah, I didn't like that stroke. Came up too high. Now I just go to all out to make it. Because it looks like the cue ball is just going to go into the 9 and that'll give me a shot. I briefly considered the carom. So I'm thinking about if I should try to dig this out. But then I realize it's a little bit too close to the corner pocket to where if I overspin it, it'll scratch. So I just select to hit it very soft. Pretty good shot. I think I'm going to kick again. Kind of got away with it. Pretty good shot there. I'm going to return here with trying to go 2 rails and then kick the 5 into the rail and behind the 6, and then the cue ball will just float out behind the 6 slightly. That's my goal. I hit it a little bit too soft. this shot I think I could have cut it all the way down, but it's just a little bit too crazy, so I'd like to play safe by banking the 5 under the 9. Pretty good. Yeah, I don't know if that could have banked it between the 9 and the 6. That could have been a good shot. I like to go for it here, and I don't make it. Maybe it was headed that way, but hit the point, so... Pretty easy cleanup here. Stun this. Not sure what that was all about. Might have to watch that whole sequence again of that 6-ball shot. If you're watching this still, Lee. Just to see what happened there. Nice shot. Great shot. Six three. Made a ball. Pretty good run out potential here. Let's play off the rail and back up. If you got to punch it or go forward with right or whatever you got to do. And try to get an angle to go between the 7 and the 4. Or you can come to the side rail and shoot the 3 from kind of like the same angle as where the cue ball is now. Not sure what the best shot is here. Depends on the exact angle. If you're precise, it doesn't matter which way you go. I'm trying to play it, yeah, this way. And I thought I hit it perfect. A little bit too far, so I have to play safe. I was just trying to hit it, touch the rail. Just playing a little safe there. Pretty good. There's nothing below the 3 to hide it, so a kick like this you gotta hit with like a lot of speed in order to get behind another ball, and that's just risky. Any sort of soft kick is not going to be safe no matter what, almost. You knew that, you hit it pretty hard, so that's the best you could do. Just trying to make sure I don't get too out of control here. So I got kind of straight in, so I'm trying to determine if I should try to cheat it and potentially miss, or draw back and potentially get out of line. Kind of a stroke I gotta identify. Maybe I gotta start working on my smoothness of my draw stroke. Alright, score 6-4 Lee. Made one ball on the break. Trying to maneuver around these 4 and a 3 ball when I cut this in the side. Go right into it. It's partly hooked there, so I did like a little bit of a twist. I think that that stroke, it seemed like you believed that it was a little bit outside of your stroke power. And I think really on those shots, I concentrate more on getting a nice amount of draw and not so much trying to put too much right spin on it. Got my jump cue out and jumped it in. Got shape. Pretty good. So here I'm trying to make sure to deal with the 7 and the 8 and not getting behind them. So I gotta play this cue ball deep, 2 rails, and the right speeds, and because I could potentially scratch. So he's like a lot of English and smooth. So I'm in a good position now. I was trying to get straighter in than that. Kind of got some real first action on that. I could have just rolled that in, but I just felt like I can still elevate and get good action on the cue ball there. Alright, score is 6-5. Yeah, slightly too much speed, or you gotta hit it just a little bit fuller. That one I might have used left English and just went all out to bank. Not worry so much about the 1, but to control the cue ball behind the 3. I was trying to draw to get good on that ball, but just overdrew it because I didn't want to get behind the 6. Kind of left a shot there. Tip went off to the left a little bit on that stroke. I don't know if that was just the camera angle or what. So I'm going to kick 2 rails here and ideally make the 9. Scratched. Let's make sure I leave myself an angle from the 3 to the 4, and I probably like to play the 4 in the side. Excuse me. Yeah, following to the end rail is good. Then you can go into the zone from the 3 to the 4, which is nice. A little bit short there. I would actually might have used left English and tried to play to the side rail and then back more towards the middle of the table. This one looks like the 4 is slightly past the side, so you should be using draw, making sure that you get the proper tangent line. Just checking my angles to make sure. I'm realizing that I'm more of a measure twice, cut once. Came up a little bit. I don't know if I'd say different than I expected. It was a little bit of a janky stroke, in my opinion. Needed to be a little bit more pure for that particular shot. And I came up a little bit short, so just working on the transition of my backswing to the follow swing. Make sure it's smooth more like that. Six to six. A little tricky with this combo, and the 5 is close to the rail, which doesn't make it super difficult. It's just controlling the 2, and then with the proximity of the 6, I have to make sure I'm pretty accurate here. Playing it to where I can go forward and then not have to worry about the 6 because I'm going to bump the correct side of it. Trying to get slightly above the 3 so I can cut it and then go down table back for the 6. Anytime you're going into the line like this, you got to be very careful. And I didn't get the correct angle, but I know I can draw back to get another angle. So I think I'm playing this for draw now. And I missed it. I have to look at that shot again. Pretty fortunate with the sleeve. You get to watch your jump stroke. So you left me a little bit straighter in than I'd like to be. So I'm going to try to manufacture the 2 rail and then go between the 7 and the 9. But it looks to me like it might not happen. I'm trying to get the max turn off the 2nd rail. So Playing thin off the 6. Hit it 2 full. Working on staying relatively motionless when I'm visualizing the shot. Also, another thing I'm working on. Put more of my energy into visualizing the ball going where I want it to go and less on the inconsistent motions that I make through like my nerves and whatnot. All right, 7-6. I might play this with a little bit of speed and high ball to go. Looks like it's going to bounce off the high side of the 6. So you can play that carom and then use the follow on the cue ball to make it go back across the table because it'll like try to banana. Yep, like that. Even more would have been good. Pretty good transition. That was not as slow as some of your shots. Pretty good though. Go for this combo, really. I gotta practice these longer cut shots. It's on my list. Given where the 5 ended up, that was pretty fortunate, I suppose. Just hit it exactly how hard I hit it to make it come all the way back down there. So I'm just going to thin off this ball and go 2 rails behind the 9 is my goal. If you had a jump shot here, I suppose. I like the 2 rail kick myself. I think the jump cue is good if you never know. You might be able to make it. 7's close to the hole. This one's it's a little bit tricky because I don't want to scratch in the side, but I gotta come 2 rails. Just put too much draw. Yeah, it was pretty tough. Made it. Good shot. They made all the banks today. That was in that set that I remember. Definitely the last three so far, which is pretty good. Kind of half stood up there. I end up going for it. Like I said, I need to work on my long cut shots. I'm actually playing this rail first. I think maybe the best offensive shot here actually is to bank it 4 rails. I have weird cueing. So it's 2 8s and a 9 that I've left. So I'm rolling out, and the best offensive shot would be a bank that you have to play multi-rail position to get to the 2. Or it's a very difficult bank. I was trying to play it slightly below where it is now. Made it. Good shot. Did not end up with the shot. Here, I think play your cue ball under the 7. It's a pretty good shot. Try to bank it and get shape for the 3. And then this is not so easy. good idea of how to get back for the 3 ball. Kind of just whacked at it. Got to be a little bit more diligent about making a decision there to do something. No good comes from just hammering at the ball without really thinking about where you're going. Good speed, 3 rails. A little too much, but it's still fine. Got 4 pockets to play this ball in. 6 pockets, really. Playing for the 5, I should say. This 5 has 6 pockets to go in, so you just play any shape shot that works is good here. Pretty tricky spot. Not sure if the cut shot in the corner or on the side is a scratch or not. Pretty good safety. I ended up not even hitting this ball, so that was not good. Should have spent more time lining it up to verify, decide what I'm going to do. I don't even think that the cut in the side was viable. Yeah, playing it inside the side pocket is proper to get the angle, so you can just float out for the 6 ball. A little bit straight on the rail. Maybe just on the rail. I don't know. It's not really straight, I should say. Really good shot. Just get out there was pretty good with that cue ball being on the rail. Just make this and go back and forth as many times as you feel comfortable needing to do. Good shot. A little too hard, but this is fine. All right, it's 8-7. He puts down a pretty good break there. Everything is sitting nice, except for the 5 is a little bit tricky. Playing this thin and then to the side rail. Pretty good shot. 2 rails. Play your angle. Maximize your chance to stay on the ball. Pretty perfect. A little straight here. It was nice. Punch over. Follow to the end rail, whatever you like. This came up a little bit short. This is still fine. Head movement there on the last two pre-strokes before the final stroke. Well done.